Today, medicine has learned that there's all different types of electrical functions that we can measure. And we actually had some problems with the MRI and magnetism. Yeah, we have to watch out for this. Let's learn more about the body electric.
August to November 1881, the first International Electrical Congress was held in the Palais de l'Industrie in Paris. The main attractions were the presentations of the latest technical achievements, such as the light bulb by Edison and the electric tram by Siemens. But the participants also discussed what standard names should be given to the electrical units. For the unit of electrical potential difference, the unit volt was chosen, in honor of the inventor of the battery, Alessandro Volta. The unit of electrical resistance was given the name ohm. At the suggestion of the German physicist Hermann von Helmholtz, the unit of electrical current was named Ampere, in memory of the great achievements of Ampere the scientist.
Well, they forgot possibly the father of it all, Luigi Galvani, who had the measurement that he found with dead frog legs with a little bit of a spark could get them to move, that there was indeed something about the body electric. Let's look at some of the other greats.
Alessandro Volta was born into an aristocratic family in the Italian town of Como on the 18th of February 1745. Even as a schoolboy, he showed a great interest in science, in particular electricity.
These great scientists were trying to understand the body electric, the human being. There was great fascination at the time about the electrical energy and the things that it could do, and the fascination that the human being had, and they knew that there was some type of an electrical function in the body. They tried to understand the body electric, but they didn't understand electricity, so they had to try to understand electricity. And our friend Volta, in 1769, wrote an incredible dissertation on the attraction of electricity and the bioattraction.
Volta showed that as long as you have a conductive liquid such as brine, all you needed was two different metals in order to demonstrate an electric effect. This is known as the voltaic effect. Even so, the voltaic pile was the first device which created an electric current for any length of time. It was a crucial step in the further investigation of electricity. After almost 10 years of tireless research, Alessandro Volta finally reached his goal. At the age of 55, he announced his new invention in a letter to the Royal Society in London. The renowned British Scientific Academy honoured Volta with its highest award, the Copley Medal, in the days before Nobel Prizes, probably the pinnacle of scientific achievement.
And more of the greats.
André-Marie Ampere was born in Polymeur, near Lyon, in France, on the 22nd of January 1775, the son of a silk dealer. Ampere was a very talented child. He was already considered a mathematical genius by the time he was 12. While he was performing his electric experiments, Ørsted noticed, much to his surprise, that every time an electric current flowed through a conductor close to the compass needle was attracted and would move. With this experiment, Ørsted was able to prove for the first time that there was a connection between electricity and magnetism. When Ampere heard about the experiments in September 1820, he was so impressed that he put all other work on hold and devoted himself entirely to research into this electric phenomenon. He performed experiments with the electrodynamic balance. They demonstrated the interaction of two conductors through which electric currents were flowing. Ampere discovered that parallel electric conductors attracted each other when the electric current running through them was flowing in the same direction, whereas they repelled each other when the electric currents flowed in opposite directions. The direction of the magnetic field around a conductor through which an electric current flows can be determined by the so-called right-hand grip rule. When the thumb of the right hand is pointing in the direction of the current, then the fingers point in the direction of the magnetic field. In further experiments, Ampere discovered that if an electric conductor were to be wound up into a coil, it behaved like a bar magnet. He used a voltaic pile, a simple chemical battery, as his power supply. An electric current flows through the coil, which thus has a plus and a minus pole. He assumed that every atom was incessantly being surrounded by electrons, and thus small electrical circuits. Because of the consequent magnetic field, every atom behaved like a small bar magnet.
The body is made of atoms. Atoms have electrons and protons. We are the body electric.
In permanent magnets, they are all aligned in the same direction. In other materials, they are all aligned differently, which causes their magnetic effect to be cancelled out, and so they appear neutral to the outside.
Then a German was to come along, George Simon Ohm, and he found a relationship between the volts and the amps and resistance. Now you can imagine in a wire that the current is the amount of energy, the amount of electrons, the amount of charged particles. Behind that current is the pressure, that's the voltage, it's the push. You see, go a little faster, etc. The push, the pressure. Now as you come up to a resistance, a resistor, is going to constrict the passageway, thereby the volts has to push harder. So we came up with a basic law that voltage equals current times resistance. And then we were able to really understand electricity a lot better. Ohm's law is a correlate. And it allowed us to really have a deeper insight into the body electric.
Caused the medical establishment to believe it to be a miraculous, even magical, life-giving force.
And so people were absolutely convinced that electricity must somehow be related to health. That if your electricity was working right, then all of your body was working right.
This idea of measuring and treating the body electric and measuring with electrical factors, this was very, very interesting. Now today we understand that the cellular metabolism exists. Life exists because of an electrical balance across the membrane. If it's too little, we get sick. If it's too much, it gets sick. And we need to understand more about the cellular membrane and understand that we are the body electric and it helps our health.
And so people were attempting to use electricity to try and right what was wrong with them, regardless of what their disease was. Everything from a headache to leprosy, don't worry, electricity will fix it for you.
And Nikola Tesla got into the act because basically he started coming up with an idea and a measure for Tesla, magnetic type of energy. And this was also interesting. He was also flirting with ideas of the body electric and how to deal with it. And once we understood more about the Teslas and MRI, we could see that that's how the MRIs work. There's an incredible factor. Well, as people got into the body electric, they started seeing and thinking that more was better. So they tried to generate vast quantities, 20,000, 30,000 volts. And this wasn't quite the answer. We needed to deal with soft energy. That's how the body deals with it. That we need to compensate. In medicine, ECG, EEG, EMG, GSR, these are all modern medicines that are used in traditional fashion in hospitals all over the world. This is part of medicine, the body electric. And the research is astounding. But there's also research that tells us about the other factors of the body electric and how we can enhance the system with electrical stimulation. Soft, gentle, controlled electrical stimulation to help with pain, to help with anxiety, to help with emotion, to help with addiction, to help with a whole variety of things that have been shown to work with the body electric. and even electro-wound healing. That soft electrical stimulation could help to heal the body and heal the ailments and stimulate healing energy. So as this came along and we all started to recognize this, I came out with a whole variety of research to really get into the body electric and to show that with this system of interface of a cybernetic loop, that using EEG, ECG, GSR, EMG, TVEP, and then using stimulation methods of TENS, MCES, GSRT, DCS, and electro-wound healing, we could, through a cybernetic loop, make an autofocus system to help balance the body electric and do what we've always dreamt of, heal the body without drugs.